Combining ultimates in Overwatch can have a huge impact to any teamfight, and when done correctly will often end with a team kill, but not every ultimate should be combined. I went and tested every Captive Sun combination with my Discord members, and here are the 10 best combos that you should be using with Illari. Starting with number 10, we have Tracer's Pulse Bomb. Using the Pulse Bomb in the middle of a group of enemies hit with Captive Sun will be an easy way to detonate multiple targets at once, and grant a larger chance of chain reactions. The faster Tracer can get in, the better the results, and as Tracer has the quickest charging ultimate in the game, you won't be waiting around for too long to sync up your ult charge, making this a quick combo to pull off. Tracer can easily follow up on any targets who are able to escape, allowing for a nice team wipe. Number 9, Reinhardt's Shatter. This is a much less obvious combo, but Shatter will stun enemies, meaning you can use it both before Captive Sun, for an easy group of enemies to hit, or after to apply half of the required 90 damage to all stunned enemies. Rein's Fire Strike will deal any remaining damage for easy kills, allowing Illari to focus on targets out of his line of sight for the team wipe. This works surprisingly well in a match as the shatter range is quite large and grants Illari more time to get the perfect shot. Number 8, Maze Blizzard. Another way of preventing enemies from escaping is by freezing them on the spot. This works best when used before Captive Sun to maintain the grouped up enemies in place, but even used after will make triggering the Sunstruck explosions that much easier. In a real life example, it is rare to get the whole team inside Blizzard, so I suggest that Mei deals with the frozen enemies and Illari uses her flight to aim for any remaining targets. Just keep in mind that the Blizzard tick damage alone isn't enough to trigger the Sunstruck explosion. These pre-combos have relied on the enemies being grouped up to get the most out of the ultimates. But let's have a look at some combos that work well even when the enemies are more spread out. Number 7, Junkrat's Riptire. Junkrat's ult is already a very powerful ability when used on grouped up enemies, but by combining it with Captive Sun, you transform a singular 10-meter damage radius into multiple 5-meter explosions to take out enemies within a larger area. One of the Riptire's drawbacks is that it can be shot and prevented entirely, so by removing the pressure of having to trigger it in between all of the enemies, you make this combo much more consistent, and you can even take out a few targets missed by Captive Sun on the way in. Number 6, Doomfist's Meteor Strike. Doom's ult comes with a very generous damage radius, meaning that even though enemies will scatter, you can still trigger the Sunstruck explosion on multiple targets at once. Doom can choose to either aim for the largest group of enemies for a free play of the game, or for a direct hit on the tank, who will be the hardest target to take out with Captive Sun alone. Doom's punch will also make light work of any remaining enemies under the Sunstruck effect, making for easy team kills, as long as the team isn't too split. Number 5, Junker Queen's Rampage. This combo is certain death for almost any squishy target who gets hit by it. The Rampage's bleed effect alone will stack up enough damage to trigger the Sunstruck explosion, all while preventing any healing from the enemy supports, causing complete chaos when hitting multiple targets. Add in even a small amount of damage to some enemies, and you are guaranteed to take everyone out. I suggest focusing on the enemy tank, as they can still survive the Sunstruck explosion damage, but with no teammates to help them, it should be an easy takedown. Number 4, Bastion's Artillery. In a similar way to Doomfist, Bastion also has the ability to trigger multiple Sunstruck targets at once with his artillery, which, even though comes with a smaller damage radius, makes up for it with multiple projectiles. His main focus should be to cover the largest area possible, as the point is to trigger the already applied Sunstruck effect, rather than take out the enemy directly. Again, tanks can survive this combo, so focus any additional fire there, and you should be able to get an easy team kill. These 4 combos are very powerful, but can still be avoided using movement abilities. So moving into our top 3, we have some combos that the enemies won't be able to escape. Number 3, Sombra's EMP. This combo is extremely deadly, as EMP deals a burst of damage at 40% of the enemy's current health, and can trigger the Sunstruck effect instantly on any target above 225 HP. Sombra's ult will leave the remaining enemies very close to the explosion threshold, and the increased damage will make triggering the Sunstruck effect even easier if the targets haven't already taken any damage from the first explosion. As the targeted group of enemies will also be hacked, they will have very little options to try and escape this combo, but getting the timing just right may take some patience if you want the full team wipe. Number 2, Zarya's Graviton Surge. Now this ability works best when used before Captive Sun to allow you to apply the effect to everyone at once, but if the enemies are grouped up, it can also be used afterwards to chain the Sunstruck explosions together for an easy team kill with no escape, and is very satisfying to pull off. I would highly suggest getting multiple attack angles on the stuck enemies so that your combo can't be blocked by a simple shield, but this can be achieved by anyone else on your team with a bit of communication. And now for my personal favorite, the number 1 best ultimate combination goes to Orisa's Terror Surge. Orisa's ultimate ticks all of the boxes when looking for the perfect Captive Sun combo. Its large radius can pull in many enemies together to make sure you apply the Sunstruck effect to everyone. It slows targets down for easy additional damage, and because Orisa only needs to hit 90 damage to trigger the Sunstruck explosion, she does not need to risk waiting until the enemies escape to get the most out of her Terror Surge. The only person who can possibly escape this much raw damage is the enemy tank, but with the rest of the team gone, they stand no chance of surviving the attack. Of course, none of these combos will work well if you don't keep an eye on the 50 potential counter abilities. So make sure you watch my full Captive Sun counter guide here, or catch me live on Twitch for more real match examples.